And it says we are live. We will give it just a moment or two to kick on. Musical interlude by
There we go. Hello, Gun Nation.
Howdy, everybody.
What is going on, everybody?
Living the dream. What about y'all?
Freezing my butt off.
It is cold. I mean, I think we've set a couple of records today. It's cold. However, the funny thing is, I mean, I think we touched. It was like minus 22 or something with the wind chill, and it's not as cold as some other places around the country. However, on Sunday we'll be in shorts and t-shirts. So, I mean, it really is, it's absolutely remarkable. It will be 60 degrees. We go from minus 20 to 60 degrees or maybe even a little bit higher just a few days later. So it is absolutely remarkable.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So as people are starting to come in, there was a little bit of pre-talk here. We were talking about holsters and what everybody's carrying right now, what type of holster, where are they carrying it, all that kind of stuff. And I responded actually, and who was it? Let's see. It was Jonathan. It was John Tardy who was asking that. And he was asking about Harry's holsters. So I have been carrying the 48 outside the waistband, and I don't have it with me. I've got the 43 right now. But just so you kind of, so you get an idea. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's a nice click. It's good. It's got great retention and everything, but not enough bite to where it's not going to come out at all. So it absolutely works very well. I mean, Harry's kind of a mad scientist with his holsters. He really is.
Yeah, and I've got the glow-in-the-dark model. This is the P01 glow-in-the-dark model. And it's appendix carry, and I really like it. Works really well.
How about you there, 17?
Oh, I didn't know that was a question.
It's not really.
That was actually a question.
We said what's everybody carrying?
My CZP-10C in a holster today. Gearing up for that holster month this month. So I'm just kind of trying to wear everything as much as I can. So
you ought to wear them all at the exact same time.
I wish I could. I wish I could get all my guns holstered correctly.
There you go.
That'd be great.
Everybody, welcome back. Happy Wednesday evening. Everybody's starting to pile in. And as always, we appreciate each and every one of you. I would do roll call, but we're going to do a place. First of all, you guys all know each other really well. And if there are any newcomers, welcome, of course. But again, we really appreciate that. So, unless you guys have any major topics you want to talk about, I thought we'd just kind of open it up and see what all people want to talk about. Right now, people are talking a little bit about the weather. Knuckles is saying minus 50-degree wind chill today. Plus 50 by Sunday. Yeah, man, isn't that absolutely crazy? It really, really is. But anyways, anybody want to talk about it all right now, gentlemen?
We just had new gun laws passed in New York State yesterday.
Well, you needed some more.
Oh yeah, we had to add a few more that made sense.
I heard Cuomo was signing some.
So we are officially a red flag state now. That's awesome. So your local law enforcement, your family, or schools can now recommend that your guns get taken away if you are crazy. However, whatever determines that, who knows? So that's pretty sweet. Also, if you get delayed, so you know how sometimes, well, you guys may not know this, but if you go to your gun shop, you submit for the background check, because in New York, you have to submit every single time you go in for a pistol or a shotgun or a rifle. And if you get a delay, now they're going to hold you up for 30 days instead of the 3-day waiting period.
Wow.
That's another one.
And that's okay. That's even if the ATF comes back and they say, okay, there's somebody else. So let's say your name is John Smith,
sure,
and there's somebody else with the same name out there. Your social security numbers are just a hair apart, your birth dates or whatever it is. So you run into that from time to time. I've seen people get held up for that reason, and I've seen people look at me and go, you know what, it happens every time, and it's not a big deal. They just have to double check. Sure. So in other words, even if it's like, hey, he's cool, no big deal, it's all good, you still have to wait 30 days.
You still have to wait 30 days per New York State law, which is amazing because it's trumping federal law. But because like I said, the problem is everything's Democrat now. So you got Democratic House, Democratic Senate, and a Democratic governor. So it is just easy street. Everything gets passed now. No doubts. So, I don't know what else they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But, there was a lot of people saying that this isn't going to prevent crime, and they're absolutely right.
No.
It's not going to prevent
Yeah,
anything.
well, we all know that, you know, bad guys don't buy their guns from gun shops in the proper places.
Sure. Exactly.
So they wait till you get your guns and then they steal your crap or
Exactly.
buy it out of a trunk of a car somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and I just remembered the other one is that he made it officially illegal for teachers to carry guns in school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's 100% outlawed now. So nothing like painting a ginormous target on every school building that doesn't have a resource officer there.
Jeez.
So, you know.
And is he going to get rid of his, you know, his security?
No, he doesn't even live in the governor's mansion. He lives in an estate with his girl.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is. That famous lady who makes food or something, like Sarah Lee is her name.
Wow.
That's serious. Like that's who he's. I think he married her.
Wow.
So I think it's Sarah Lee. I don't know.
Jeez.
Yeah, we got Mr. T.N. Steyr out there.
Yeah, I don't think he was feeling well after his SHOT Show excursion.
He got the crud.
Yeah, he got a lot of that hand poop from everybody. So
that just doesn't sound at all healthy. And I was reading through some of these comments here a little bit. Kathleen, music lover, good to see you. Shot the P09 this evening or yesterday today. No, it was today. And put some yellow night vision sights. So you'll have to fill us in. Let us know what you think of those.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I'd like to know what she thinks about it. I have a couple of sets of night vision, and you know, they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the yellow front on the Ameriglows. You know, their new yellows.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty nice, but I haven't shot the night vision, so I don't have any. I've looked through them, but you know, it's a little different when you're in an indoor range or something like that. It sometimes changes the look of them.
If I was going to make a recommendation for a colored front, I don't have the green at all. I have the orange and the red. The red is much better than the orange. The red is very close to like what you would find in an Ameriglow Trigicon front, you know. The orange is just more like that TFX Pro, which I think is not very bright. Yeah. I'm thinking about getting a blue one. What do you guys think of that?
No.
No.
The one to match your microphone?
Yeah.
Well, I used to have, I had it was a Colt Competition 9mm a few years back when it first came out. And when they first released it, I don't think they do this anymore, but not only did it have those kind of purpley blue, black grips on it, which actually looked pretty cool, but it had a blue front fiber optic. Yeah. And, you know, I thought it looked so cool. It was such a neat look, but you couldn't pick that thing up for crap, man. That thing was so dull. It may as well have not been there.
Yeah. Yeah, Texas Teacher has a question. When is CZ coming out with the compact P07? The P07 is the compact, but I don't know if maybe they're meaning like a P05 or something like we've talked about before.
I think they need to get rid of the Rammy.
Yeah, well, you know, some people like it. Some people don't. You know, I think I mean, to me, it's super, super tiny, but, you know, I know some people who like it.
Yeah, I still about once a week, maybe twice a week or so, I'll get a comment and somebody mentions the Rammy. It's usually on like the Glock 26 video or something like that. So there are definitely some dedicated fans to it. I maintain that although I love CZ, every time I pick up the Rammy, if it's got the extended magazine, I like it, man. It feels good. You know, all sorts of confidence with it. And as soon as I put the flat magazine, I'm like, nope, because it's a chunky monkey, but there's almost nothing to hold on to.
Yeah, it's like two fingers for me. I've got a little picture of me trying to hold it. It's crazy.
The thing too is that slide is very difficult to manipulate. You know, the spring is very tight on that slide, and it's not a lot of surface area, so can make it very, very difficult to rack that slide.
Yeah, and I even checked a used one that someone had for sale at a gun store, and it was pretty. You could tell it was pretty well used. So I was like, I wonder if this slide's loosened up. No, it wasn't. It was still super tight.
And I did pay for my my Glock 48 today, so hopefully I will get that in the next 4 weeks.
Jeez.
So it's interesting. You know, it's an interesting gun. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure what I think of it just yet. I have to, get it home, play around with it, shoot it. I mean, it's interesting. It's almost like a 1911 Glock 19. You know, I think that's very close to what I would think it feels like in the hand. It's an interesting gun. I don't know what to make of it just yet.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, I love them, and I was holding up the 43X a moment ago, but you know, some people have said, when are you going to start modding them? So the 43, since the original video is out, I've gone ahead and done some work. I did the Ameriglows, just the pro dots on it with the regular dots on the rear, and I like that. Kathleen was saying that that the night vision yellows are not quite as nice as the Trijicon. You know, Trijicon and Ameriglows, I think they're high definition sights are probably the best out there, at least that I've come across, that I've used. I absolutely love them. Even the orange, which I prefer the kind of yellowish one, the orange one is still really bright. I like it quite a bit.
What is that, an Ameriglow?
It's Ameriglow. Yeah. Brownells was actually having a pretty good sale for these, so I got them for both the 43 and the 48. But the tactical pontoon trigger is in, and I'll tell you what, that trigger was coming in relatively close to 6 pounds when I started, and it's about 3.9 pounds now.
Jesus, dude.
And it's not. I'll tell you what,
light.
it's not too. It really isn't too light, but it's just so much. It's so much more smooth. It is so much more smooth. I mean, there's definitely still some meat there for sure, but now, you know, I've noticed with a lot of these little guns, especially 43s and 42s, when you pull the trigger, there's a little bit of this just for a brief, because you've got that really kind of vivid snap that goes in there, because the back of the cruciform and then the trigger, I forget, the sear, whatever it is, when they are working against each other, it's pretty raw. The way they stamp the metal in there, it's just raw. And so what he does, I mean, he massages and works everything to where it is buttery smooth. And man, I'll tell you what, if you're looking for upgrades, sights, triggers, those are great places to start. And you don't necessarily have to spend a ton of money, but the improvements are so remarkable.
You know, drive by on that 48 today, I have to say it was actually a very solid trigger. It's probably one of the best triggers I felt on a Glock. It's got a very short take up, and that reset is awesome. I mean, it's really good on that gun. You know, we'll see. I don't know. And I don't know yet. Like I said, I'm still undecided about it. I can't wait to get it, but you know, I can't wait to shoot it either.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of questions out there. Manny is wanting to know, he wants to upgrade from his regular Glock 43. Is the Glock 43X worth it? What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
You go first, KS, because you got more experience with that than either one of us.
Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go ahead, Big J.
I mean, this is just me personally. I think you can do a 43 with, you know, like a +2, +3 extension, and you're kind of right there if you already own the 43. If you don't, then if that's what you want to get, I would get it. Me personally, I would get the 48 over the 43, just with a little longer slide. Same grip, of course, but I would want the little longer length of a slide. I know it's not much. It's, what is it, an inch? But, you know, that would be me personally if I were going to pick one of those guns. If I already owned one, I would just go with the mag extension.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would say if I was going to choose, like I had to choose a 48 or the 43X. I went the 48 because it just was more ideal for me, but it's personal preference. I think if I had to choose between a 43 and a 43X, I'd actually go with the 43 just because it's more customizable. So if you want a deeper conceal, you don't have to have an extended magazine. If you want the added round count, then you put you know, a +2 on there and you're good to go. And then basically you have a 43X. So I'd probably go with the 43.
Right on. And I would actually do the opposite. I would go with either the 43X or the 48. I think from the distances that you would typically shoot it, there is a difference in accuracy, probably a little bit with the 48 being a little bit more accurate. There's more sight radius, but I think it's negligible for most people under most circumstances. So you can kind of choose the one that you like a little bit better. And, you know, if you find a good holster, like a Harry's holster, something like that, he makes it to where it'll fit both. So they're interchangeable, which is very smart. And it makes it easy for somebody like me. I've got both holsters, so I can interchange the guns. But one of the things that they've changed, that it's not just the length, it's the width of the grip. There is a little bit more meat on this grip, so it's wider. And so one thing that I found with the original 43, and I've owned a couple, and I carried one for a fair amount of time, I just never found that there was enough on the gun to be a comfortable shooter, especially for a long period of time. If I went to the range after maybe 150 rounds or maximum 200 rounds, I was kind of done with it. I just didn't want to shoot it. I find that they're just a little bit more shootable because there's just a little more to grab onto, not only lengthwise, but widthwise. And so, if you can, go to a gun store, pick them both up, try them both out, see which one feels better in your hand, and test the triggers, do all that kind of stuff. If you can, shoot them and see which one works better for you.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Glock hate now. They're telling us to shut up about the Glocks. Yeah, I like my Shield with the extension, with the +2 on it, and it works great for me. And I don't see any reason for me to get rid of that to grab one of those. That's just me personally.
Speaking about a lot of hate, I keep getting a lot of hate on that PPS M2 video. I don't understand why people dog everything. I mean, first off, it doesn't have the optic. The optic is currently in the United Kingdom. It actually was received today, so hopefully within 7 days they said they would get it back to me. So I'm excited to see if they've upgraded that lens at all. I know that somebody was saying something about the lens being swapped out. Now they have I guess a tough model. So maybe it's not polymer. I don't know. But, sometimes people confuse me with the whole gun world. And I think because, I always get crap about having to have 10-round mags, because of New York State. But then all of a sudden the Glock 48 came out and everybody's like, wow, a 10-round magazine. It's like, wait a second, time out. I mean, why so much hate towards people who don't have a choice? Now all of a sudden you have a Glock 48 and a 43X that has 10 rounds, and it's like the next best thing since sliced bread, So I'm just a little curious. What are your thoughts on something like that?
Well, soon you'll probably have to have a 2-round mag so you can just cut the end off your guns.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a BB gun. Well, I can't do that either. Can't order.
Yeah, no airsoft. Yeah, that's bad too. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look at it this way, and I mean, this is kind of how I do my channel, and I've said this many times. I do what I want, say what I want. People can disagree, and that's cool. I mean, I'm definitely into having opinions and a good discussion. But if somebody just comes to troll and just be an asshole, I'm done with that. There's no reason for that.
I mean, it is a solid gun. I mean, the PPS is a good gun. I don't know why. And some people were saying that the reason why I didn't get a lot of footing was because it is a concealed carry gun, and when they added the red dot, it made it non-concealable. But I mean, how many people are carrying a big P320 with a Romeo? How many people are carrying a 19 MOS or even a 17 MOS, or a P10 that's been cut for an RMR? So I don't necessarily buy that.
I appendix carried my 34 with the Delta Point Pro on it. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can whatever you feel comfortable with, and not all body types are the same. Not all carry techniques are the same. Whatever you feel comfortable with, do it. If they have an opinion, they can do what they want. You can do what you want, I
mean, it's a pretty solid gun. I like it.
If you like it, that's all that matters. Actually, and this, we missed it a little bit ago, and I wanted to definitely not forget her. Music had a question. She was talking about she's wanting the PO7 and the PO9 to have the RMR cut. There's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can remove the rear dovetail and just put a plate in there. CZ makes the plate for them. So you can try it to see if you actually like it. It's going to sit up a lot higher, but you could try that, and then you can send a slide off, and hell, there are people milling them for your RMR or Delta Point Pro, whatever you choose, for like $110. I mean, so if you find something you like and you really like that, then you're not out a lot of money. So, but yeah, I wish they would have, come from the factory too, but a lot of them, they might be on a plate to where they're up higher. And when you cut it, it's going to be sunk down in there a little bit where it's going to co-witness a little better. So, oh, and since we're talking about red dots, I wanted to get y'all's opinion. Have y'all checked out the aim point, the new aim point dot that's actually kind of a little cube and it's all enclosed and encapsulated? Have y'all checked it out?
I've seen it. I mean, it looks kind of interesting.
Have you seen it?
I haven't really checked it out. No. Yeah,
it's I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a little block sitting up there, but I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I guess as it comes out more, I've only seen a couple of videos, I guess, from SHOT Show, people shooting it, but it's definitely different. But it's like waterproof to 40 meters. I mean, it's pretty tricked out. Hell, I think it's going to be
when you go on your special ops missions and you're doing
well,
I mean, I think sometimes they create things that are just gimmicks, to make people feel like they're special forces. I've got a red dot optic that can go 650,000 feet under the league. I mean, it's like, really?
Yeah, well, I think it's, for military use, it has to meet all those ratings too. So, I mean, I could understand that because we're not civilian, just only civilians would use it. But I think it's kind of cool.
Hey, Wicked Sensation, thank you for contributing to 1776's testosterone replacement.
I hope one day my voice can be as deep as yours.
Get the guns. Yeah, and you got to grow that big tactical beard.
Yeah. One day I will have that deep voice. Thank you.
I carry my revolver in single action. Asked a question. Will any of us be getting the double barrel revolver? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the little 2-shot thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's 22, isn't it? I think it's 22.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's 22. I mean, I'm not a fan of revolvers. I've said it before. It's just not for me. If you like them, great. I don't really have any interest in them.
Yeah, it's not for me. That's not my kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see any reason in it. Hell, before I bought that, I would buy one of those little, and of course, I don't even know if I could hold it with one finger, but the little North American arms, where you at least have like 5 shots of 22 long rifle. I'd get one of those first before I bought that little 2-shot thing.
So I got a question for you guys. The CZ-P10C optic ready. Mm-hmm. Do you think if somebody owns a newer edition of the P10C without the optic ready, do you think it's worth for them to get rid of that just to get an optic ready version?
Big Johnson, go ahead.
It goes back to, you could have it milled, for $110. And just if you've already got the gun, if you trade a non-optic ready gun, you're not going to get as good of a trade-in value, or someone's going to want to buy it a lot cheaper. And then also the new, and I don't know why they did this on the optic ready and all the new optic ready guns, they have dual cuts. They have 2 lines. I'm not talking about the little circle and the square on the flat part, but on the sides of the mags. The new ones have the dual cuts. So if you owned a P10C before, that mag will not fit the new one. And I'm like, now the new one will fit the old one, but it won't go backwards the other way. And I was like, what the hell? But because they changed the whole mag release. So that's why they had to do the different cut. But I would probably just have it milled. Now, if you're wanting the F, of course, you're going to have to get the new one. Or you could get the one without the optic, but it's just whatever you choose to do.
What do you think there, KS?
It all depends on what you're after. I mean, yeah, you could get the one you have milled for it, or you could sell the one you have currently and get the one with the optic on it. Money wise, I think it's pretty close to a wash, because P10s usually still do reasonably well, especially if you find one on sale when you buy it. So I think it's pretty close. And if you have the red dot that matches the plate that already is ready for it, I mean, I don't know. Either way, I think you're probably going to be doing okay.
Yeah. I'm going to probably keep mine. I don't really have any desire to get another, optics ready gun, because I don't have another optic ready.
Yeah.
So it's just another excuse to spend money. So I'm more excited about the S model anyway. I'm kind of curious how that's going to fit. But we'll see. Who knows when that's coming out?
I would wager to say it's probably going to be somewhere around April.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Man. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to play with my PX4 Storm.
There you go. Oh yeah, that is true. Young Guns is saying the P10, the new P10 is American made. So it's made in Kansas, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And we've got another question from Boom78. Have y'all heard anything from Spec Ops?
Every once in a while.
Yeah, he's still around.
He's probably just busy.
I see him on Instagram, every once in a while, but I just don't know if he does. He obviously doesn't do videos like he used to.
So, are either one of you disappointed with, I guess the offerings of Walther and HK at SHOT Show? I just wanted to bring that up really quick, because it didn't seem like there was much to kind of talk about. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, because I'm sure we talked about it before, but I'm still kind of like shaking my head about it. It didn't seem like there was really much on those two ends, including Smith. But it just seemed like I wonder if SHOT Show's losing a little bit of that luster. You know, I don't know.
Go ahead, KS.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't release necessarily very much. However, some manufacturers like to release things at NRA or even after that. And I know Walther and HK have both been known to release things later in the year. So it's possible that they've got things in the work. Who knows? I mean, obviously that's speculation, but you know, that VP long slide looks kind of cool. I think that'd be fun to try. The Q5 match has been a lot of fun. But yeah, there was not a plethora, a table full of offerings, at least that caught my attention.
Yeah, the only thing that I kind of liked was the long slide, and it's just going to be a slide. They're going to sell it as a slide, so it goes right onto your own VP9. That's what they were showing. The one guy did a video on it, was talking about it. So, but I don't think it's going to be out like immediately, but they're going to do it. But I wish they, you know, for VP9, I wish they would come out with a full grip, you know, like a full size grip, just to kind of even out that, because, you know, I know it's a 15-round grip, but man, you put that long slide on it, and I've held one before, and it's just kind of weird. I guess what was it, the P series, the P30L? You know, I held that one, and it was, I mean, I just think it needs a longer grip personally.
Pope Performance is saying single stack HK VP9, and I'd be all over that. That'd be fun.
Tactical Pontoon has just chimed in. Hello, sir.
Tactical Pontoon.
Yeah, he just got his VP slide cut.
Just out of curiosity, can we bum some triggers off you, man?
Oh,
listen, I'm not too proud to beg. Damn it, I got a Glock 48 coming. I need a damn trigger for it.
So you know, we already talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Number one's already in there. So
right. and then I don't have to listen to KS bragging all the oh, look at this trigger. You know, it's like, God, give me a break. I love you, KS. So Joker saying I should get the next gen CCP. You know, I actually thought about it. No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
Wow. I was gonna say Mac was praising it. Or
I saw that. I was gonna say something, but then he would probably start World War III with me. So I said I'm not saying anything about it.
Yeah, because I saw his little thing on Instagram, and I was like, wow, okay. So
now what was it again?
Do what now? I'm sorry.
What was it again that he posted?
The Walther CCP.
Yeah, he was saying how the CCP is pretty much a great gun. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't for me. I think one of you guys needs to try it out and let me know if I'm wrong, because it just wasn't my thing. Not my cup of tea.
Matter of fact, did you see what's plummeting in price? I don't know if y'all are subscribed to Grab a Gun, but they were selling the Walther PPQ, you know, the little subcompact, for like $369 or something, and I was like, holy crap.
I can believe that. I still don't understand what they created that for.
They were trying to, the only thing I can think of is like a Glock 26 size, but I was just like, man, that thing is tiny.
Yeah, it doesn't work, I don't think, well. I mean, I know some people have reviewed it and said it's great, but I just think that, you know, the regular size PPQ is kind of a pain to kind of control in the beginnings when you start to learn the gun. So I can imagine how that thing must flip a little bit in your hand, because it's, you know, the stippling isn't overly aggressive either, and it's just not a lot of meat on there. So, you know, I don't know. I didn't think it was going to do well. I wish it would have. I really wish they would have come to the table with something redesigned, but they didn't.
Yeah. It's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard that, you know, they're talking about Steyr, TN Steyr, and some other guys are over there. And, you know, that is funny in a lot of areas. You know, they don't even know what a Steyr is. They don't stock them. They don't have them, and, you know, all that stuff. But we've got a couple of shops that are now stocking them in my area.
So we do have a question out there from Boomy78. Would you guys pick a Walther PPQ subcompact or an FNS 9C?
I would pick an M&P 2.0 compact. Am I allowed to do that?
No, you are not.
You can only pick those two.
Well, I don't particularly care for the FNSC. I would probably get a PPQ subcompact. But I don't know. I've never shot either one, so I don't know.
I would get the FNS 9C, and the reason being is because it does come with the extension in the box, so you don't stuck with the little thing. And then I would run it like I have my FNS already set up. I've got the full size and it's grips great on it. And I do like, and I did a well, I checked it myself, but I didn't do a video on it. But the new 509 and the FNS is a rounder, fuller grip compared to the 509. So I like the grips on both. It's just that they make a large back strap for the 509 that you have to purchase. It doesn't come in the box, where the FNS, they all came in the box. If you have really huge hands, if you don't, it doesn't matter.
Wait, who has huge hands?
I don't know.
Is it KS?
Definitely. And speaking of big hands, which I do not have, I would say probably the PPQ subcompact, but only with the extended grip, the extended magazine base plate. Without that, there's almost nothing to hold on to with that gun. I've avoided it for that exact reason. Every time I pick one up, and they've had one sitting at centerfire for the last probably 8 months or so. Seems like everybody kind of has the same thought about it. You pick it up and you're like, man, just give me a Glock 26 or whatever. That's fine. There's a lot more to grab onto. And if you've held a Glock 26, there isn't a lot to grab onto there either. So it's like they cut it wrong. It's almost cut it too short, but they were like, all right, we're going to go with that. That looks good.
Right. It was almost like they cut too much. And then they were like, screw it. Let's put it out that way.
It's like 1.5 fingers on it. And that's it.
Yeah. That's even like
I felt both in my hand. Well, that one, the PPQ subcompact, but I don't know if you guys ever put in your hands the P99 subcompact, and they're almost the same size, but P99 actually feels a little bit better in the hand than the PPQ, which I thought was weird. And I don't know why, again, they kind of moved away from the P99 completely. I think it's because of the decocking, double single action kind of trigger they were using. But I still think the P99 is a fantastic gun. I think they just need to refresh some stuff, but I think the overall attitude of Walther is, look, why fix if it ain't broken, and there's a lot of PPQ fans who love that gun. I'm one of them. I think it's a great gun. I just think maybe it's getting a little bit long in the tooth, so to speak.
Footmaster Chew, yes, that is a good price. $1,035 for a Shadow 2 Urban Gray.
That's a very good price. I would jump all over that. William Schilling had a question a little while ago and said, does bore axis height matter? What do you think?
Man, does it matter? I mean, I think it does. I mean, shoot the Steyr and then shoot something else, and you're going to know automatically it matters. Does it mean that you're a better shooter or a worse shooter? I don't think so. I think whatever gun you have, if you learn your gun, you're going to be fine. But I think, I have yet to find a gun. I think the P10 is very close to it in regards to just a flat shooting gun. But that Steyr, man, that thing sits so deep in your hand and so low to your hand. It's really hard to beat it. So I think it does matter. But if you don't have a low bore axis gun, I don't think it does matter, as long as you use your gun and you train with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like when we had the 320s and 226s and all that. Everybody was like, "Oh, bore axis, it's so crazy, it's so high." Again, it depends on your hold. 6 o'clock hold. You're gonna need to know your gun and shoot it, and you're gonna get proficient with it. If you go from gun to gun to gun, and you've got all different bore axes, you're gonna hit the same general area, but you're not gonna sometimes punch holes inside of holes. So it's just knowing your gun. And some people say, oh, if it's a higher bore axis, it's just going to flip and it's going to break your wrist and all that. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff, and I'm just like, whatever,
And I would say, by and large, I agree with that. However, you can't argue with physics. Physics is no matter what your grip is or anything else, how much training, how much time you spend with your gun. And I think all of that is very true. You should spend time with the gun, practice technique, get some training, do whatever you need to do. You're going to get more proficient at it. You're going to make it work. whether it's a 320 or, you know, something like this Archon with, this is a stupid low bore axis. So either way, you know, you can make it work. However, physics, you can't argue with physics. It's going to happen. If there is more mass and more weight higher up, it means it's going to have a tendency to pull your hand back a little bit more. It's going to rock back. But if it's lower and you've got a nice high grip, it's going to push you back a little bit more. You're still going to see flip. That's going to happen because a round is exploding out of the front of your gun. But you're probably going to see it flip a little bit less. But again, a lot of that comes back to technique, time on gun, that sort of thing. So it all combines into one, hopefully very good formula for you. But to say that it doesn't exist, and I mean, I've seen other people say that's all crap. There's no such thing. I mean, bore axis, that's not a thing. I disagree with that. I think it is, but time on gun, good training, good technique, you can overcome that.
Yeah.
And I think Pop said it well. It's not about recoil, it's about recoil management. And he's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, maybe every new shooter should get a high access gun, because then it's going to, you know, teach you to grab that gun, you know, instead of, you know, barely touching it because there's barely any recoil. Because I'll tell you, you can get very lazy with guns that shoot easy, if that makes sense. You know, I know a lot of people will say, well, guns don't shoot easy. Well, they actually do. Some guns shoot very easy. It doesn't take much to master the gun. It doesn't take much to get a good point of aim or anything on it, you know, and sometimes you get a little lazy with that. Whereas you get a gun that flips, you know, you kind of have to concentrate on managing that a little bit more. So I wonder, maybe sometimes you should look for a higher bore axis when you're starting out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, when you're talking about grip, I mean, that happens to me sometimes. I've even stated in videos, you know, I'll relax my left hand way too much, and I'll try to drive the gun more with my right hand, and, you know, not just flipping up and down, but side to side. You know, you can notice that also. So, you know, it definitely plays a part in really latching down on that gun. So, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I carry my revolver in single action is asking, have you guys handled the CZ Shadow 2 Compact?
No, but I have handled the P01.
No, I think I have. Yeah, no, I have. They're like freaking $1,300. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool gun, and it's basically a tricked out P01. You know, I mean, it's kind of small. I think it's a nice gun. You know, I haven't shot it. It just has a really nice trigger, and it's been all tricked out. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd spend that much on it. But I've got, you know, the P01, and I've got the Sphinx SDP Compact too, and I think those are both great guns.
Yeah, I have not handled, I mean, it's a P01. I mean, that's really all it is. It's a custom shop P01. I'm looking at pictures of it right now. In fact, it's not a P01, it's a 75.
Yeah.
You know, I would say go with a P01 and send it off to Cajun Gunworks or something if you want. And I think you're probably going to spend a little bit less, and you're going to have an equally capable gun.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that Humble Marksman did a video on it. It was one of his buddies, and he shot it, and he's got a video comparing it, I think. Bald says his Sphinx has your name on it, KS.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
They're great guns. I mean, I love the Sphinx. It shoots really nice.
Okay, so William Schilling is asking, and I wonder, it's funny you're asking this, because I actually I watched a video from a certain YouTuber I won't mention because not everybody likes this YouTuber, but it happened to catch in my feed, and I was curious about what this person had to say about it. But Springfield Armory, do we forgive them? Interesting.
Oh boy. This is going to open up Pandora's box right now.
It's a can, and you know, it's a cold Wednesday night. We need to warm up with some dialogue here.
Let's burn the whole village while we're at it.
Right. Well, I'm curious to know what people have to say about that.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I just think this is a you know, if you say the wrong thing, people get butthurt, period. And so, you know, you have to be very cautious with how you approach this topic, because then it becomes the the Valkyrie cry of injustice in America. And you know, I don't know if you punish everybody that works there for the acts of a few idiots. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And sometimes, you know, you know only half the story, even though you think you know the full story. I don't think we're ever going to know that. I don't think we're ever going to know what exactly is the truth. The people who know the truth are the ones who did it. Do I think it's time to forgive? You know, I think it's personal preference. I think it's, you know, we could compare Smith, we can compare Ruger. Yeah, they're kind of different stories and the backstories of those as well. But they did very, very underhanded things as well to the gun community, and people forgave them because the upper echelon stepped down and all that other stuff. And you haven't seen that in Springfield. So I think that's why there's still that venom almost towards Springfield Armory. You know, does it mean you shouldn't buy their guns? I don't know. That's up to you. That's your own personal business. Has it stopped me? No. Is it going to stop me? Probably not. Does that make me a sellout? Does it make me anti-gun and anti-2A? Nope. I just think if they make a decent product, why not? You know, I mean, if people are willing to buy Turkish firearms, then why wouldn't you be able to buy a Springfield firearm? That's the only thing I don't understand, you know? So that's kind of just my take on it.
Yeah, as far as my opinion, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't own a Springfield. And, you know, I've said it before on their, you know, polymer, I don't think a pistol needs 4 safeties. If you're a brand new shooter and that's the gun that you pick, I think it's great if you feel comfortable with carrying that. Me personally, I don't need that. They're 1911s.
But you would carry a 1911 that has a grip safety.
Hang on. I was just going to say their 1911s are nice. Yeah, I meant for a polymer pistol. I don't think all that's needed. But also you're dealing, you know, with a different firearm too. Sure. 1911, you know, they make nice 1911s. I've shot them in the past, never personally owned one. But, you know, I mean, you're correct, 17, you know, there's a lot of American people that work there. And, you know, it's with any corporation, if the owner or CEO or whoever sticks their foot in their mouth, you know, yeah, it could hurt those people's, you know, livelihood like it has. And I just don't see a lot coming from them. You know, they might paint a different gun, a different color, and, you know, you can put lipstick on a pig, but ultimately it's still a pig, and it is what it is. Kodo Boy says it's a great gun made in Croatia.
Made in Croatia. Yeah, you know, I have mixed feelings about that because, I mean, like you said, they make a couple of decent guns. Their 1911s are pretty good, but they made some bad choices, obviously, and that impacts a percentage of our community, and we should all be sticking together with that. Some people were saying, well, have we forgiven other manufacturers in the past for making moves that we don't agree with? And I was about to say bad moves, but obviously a business decision is a business decision, whether we like it or not. And so it's up to us to decide if we like that decision and if we want to continue to support them. And this video that I was watching today, I mean, I think he pretty strongly feels against the company. However, he made some points. He said, to their credit, you know, they've tried to make some inroads into, you know, kind of getting back into the favor of 2A, like dropping dicks and supporting some good pro-gun movements that are going on. Now, I haven't necessarily seen a lot of that and what that necessarily entails, but you know, it's kind of an interesting sort of thing. And there are still a lot of dedicated people out there who are buying those firearms. And so just kind of an interesting discussion and, you know, how we are somewhat brand loyal or, you know, how much attention we pay to what's going on in the community at large. I think it's a fascinating conversation, if nothing else. It can get a little heated, of course, but sure. But it's fascinating nonetheless.
Well, hell, they're also basically giving them away now with their pricing.
Yeah. Now, the only thing I would add to it, and, you know, this is just food for thought. It's not here to piss anybody off. I mean, you know, if we can't have a conversation about it, then, I mean, what does that say about us in general? But I think also you have to say to yourself, you know, we say that they're anti-gun, anti-2A, but at this point, I still have not really seen any large gun companies really support any pro-2A movements, at least not that I've seen publicly. I could be wrong. And if I am, oh well. But I have yet to see any large manufacturers stand up and say, enough is enough with all this gun control. We're going to stop it. You know, we have people who buy our products. You know, I don't really see that either. So, you know, I know it's good to point fingers and say, well, they did this, they did that, but I don't really see any companies right now, you know, really standing up for our rights as a group. I think they will eventually when they begin to see all out bans come up, you know, because then that's going to, you know, cause chaos for their business model. But, you know, I don't really see that happening. And at the same time, you know, look, was it a mistake? I think it was a really horrible mistake they made. You know, and I don't know what is going to take for them to win over the masses. I don't know. I have no idea. I just think that, you know, we're always very quick to judge. And I don't necessarily think that's the way we should go, because like I said, I don't see Glock standing up for 2A. I don't see Smith & Wesson standing up for 2A, or Walther, or any of these other major brands doing a damn thing. I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I apologize to those people that I've offended. But at the same time, I mean, like I said, we just had 3 brand new gun laws passed today. I didn't see Glock up in Albany. I saw just basic men and women up in Albany, you know? So, you know, don't preach if you can't follow through either. That's the way I look at it, you know?
Well, and Stephen Worth made a really good point. He was saying that people shop on Amazon and they're not Second Amendment friendly at all. And I imagine most people shop on Amazon. And so, I mean, you know, how far do you take all this stuff, you know?
Yeah. And hell, Shopify, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Shopify chopped a bunch of businesses off today, even on Instagram, you know, where they were using Shopify to purchase products. They cut all the gun people off. Today, there were like 4 or 5 companies they dumped.
Same thing with eBay. You know, depending on what you're selling on eBay, they will actually revoke your auction. They'll revoke it completely.
Yeah. And Etsy now, too. Pops had an issue with Etsy. For his mag loaders. It's crazy, man.
You know, I just think in all, I think the entire gun world community, whatever you want to call it, is so unorganized and so at combat with each other that we just play into their hands. And I think it's sad.
Yeah, I understand. So real quickly, I was curious. Banshee 365 was mentioning me and Devil Dolphin. I'm not sure if you guys are all familiar. He's got a channel out there, very good channel. Both drooling over the Specialist for good reason. I'm assuming you're talking about the Dan Wesson Specialist. I would assume. I at some point, hopefully this year, I will do a Dan Wesson. That's on the radar for sure.
Yeah, they're nice pistols.
They really are. I think they're beautiful.
Somebody, what is it? MC1CA ordered their Dave Hogg.
Mika ordered the Dave Hogg poster.
Yeah, through Amazon. That's funny.
It's a big seller.
Yeah. Yeah, they have those in Targets too, I think.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Joking.
CW Hunter saying, get your guns and ammo now.
Yeah, you guys are lucky you live in free parts. I mean,
yeah. And I was going to say, it is a hell of a time to buy guns. You know, if there's anything that you're interested in, you know, that's been out for a while, I mean, there's definitely, you know, some great pricing on some of these guns. Hell, even ARs too, you know, fully built ARs.
Well, God, you could build one for next to nothing.
Yeah. Well, hell, they're selling M&P AR-15s, you know, with lifetime warranty for $460.
All right, so I carry my revolver. You've had some great questions tonight, by the way. Would you sell 4 guns to get 1 gun? And I think we could expand this a little bit. Would you sell multiple guns for 1 gun? If you found 1 gun that you were like, I've got to have it, would you dump, let's say, a minimum of 3 for that gun? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a high dollar gun that I really want, you know, I mean, you know, I've got some guns that I could live without, you know, in order to get another gun. So, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any reason in it.
17.
Man, that's a tough choice. I mean, I don't really know if I would do that. I have a problem with you know, buying really high priced handguns. You know, I just have never been able to do it. So I don't know if I could do it. It would have to be something like amazing, you know, just super amazing that you know, that I'd never be able to replace with anything else that's amazing. So I don't know. For me, probably not. I think that's, you know, I think that's a little too much of a price to pay.
What about you, KS?
A couple of words. Walther Q5 match steel frame. You know, I mean that that's how it all works. And 3 guns paid for that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all, but that comes with the territory. You know, gun reviewers, if you don't have super deep pockets, and I definitely don't, then you have to make sacrifices. And you know, I try and keep a few, like the you know, the Archon. That's a keeper. I've already decided that, and so I have to make adjustments and figure out, okay, what else am I going to do to make all this work? And so, yeah,
laser gun, I would do it.
A laser gun,
yeah. Laser gun, I would.
Laser, and I look at it this way. Okay, and you know, think about it this way. Here's the way I kind of think about it. Okay, like a VP9, is that a collector piece? No, you can pick them up anywhere. Is honestly, and I love M&P, but is an M&P compact? Is that like a collector's piece? Now, if you have all the accessories on it, if you've really done it up, I can understand that. But if it's a stock pistol, or if it's a stock, you know, production-made pistol that you can pick up at any store, I mean, if you have to get rid of some guns, would that not be a gun to get rid of? Now, if it's a harder gun or a collector piece, I can understand that. Keep it, because you won't just go in any store and find it. But you know, mass-produced pistols that are easily accessible, I don't see any reason, if there's something that all of a sudden you've got this super great deal on it and they're just not on a shelf all the time. Definitely.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say too. Like right now, if I was looking at what I have, what would I want to, what would I sell at this point? I mean, I would probably, the first on my list would probably be the FN 509. Not that it's a bad gun or anything, but I actually like the 19X much better than a 509. So it's not a knock against the gun. It's just, to me, that's a gun that will eventually probably move out of the collection, because it's sitting in a safe in my bedroom right now. It's not doing anything. And honestly, I really like the 19X. I think it's a much better handgun. I shoot it a little bit better, and I like the way it feels in my hand better. So for me, to me, the 19X, as crazy as it sounds, that would be irreplaceable for me, because I like that gun so much more. I think for me, the M&P 2.0 compact, even though it is a replaceable gun, I love that gun so much because it's such a good shooting handgun that I would find it hard to let go of that gun. I could actually see myself at some point moving off my Gen 5 MOS, even though I love that gun as well, but I actually like the M&P 2.0 compact better. So I think it's just a matter of what you actually, you know, and I'll use one of KS's lines, the gun you connect with better. You know, I feel like I connect much better with that M&P and that Glock 19X more so than a 509 or even the 19 MOS, you know, so it's kind of weird. It's weird like that.
So we've got one gun you can get rid of, so you can get towards your Shadow 2 now. Okay.
No, you know, if I was gonna sell something, I'm starting to feel like I should get that Archon Type B, you know, because it's gonna bother me, because I gotta, you know, always hear about it, and I'm tired of hearing about it. I just want to get it.
It's right here.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know. Maybe down the line, probably I would have to probably sell 2 guns in order to be able to afford that gun. So the FN would definitely be on the chopping block. I don't know. Maybe at some point, if the PPS M2 doesn't really meet what I was hoping for in regards to the optic, maybe that would move too. I'm not sure. You know, I just have to kind of look at the safe.
Sure.
So Pistol Pete, let's see it again, pervert. Yeah. No, what you really need, you need some bling. You need some gold bling. What do you think of that?
That matches your grill.
That is hot stuff. It's funny, but I've been working with these Shield Arms base plates, and these things are absolutely fantastic. That's a lot of gold. That is a lot of gold right there. But
Daddy.
But you know, some people dig the bling, man.
Yeah, their mags are awesome. How you can take them apart from the bottom and pull your guts out.
You know, interestingly enough, and I'm not bringing this up to piss both of you off, but I've been very surprised by this PX4. It was a gun that I was a little uncertain of. As a matter of fact, when I bought it, I said, you know, I'm going to run it through its paces. I have a little fun with it, and then probably it would leave also. But, you know, the more time I spend with this gun, I actually like this gun quite a bit, and I didn't think I was going to like it this much. You know, I definitely like it better than the APX, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know. You know, like I said, it's going to go out for a test run this weekend, so we'll see how it goes.
Listen, the PX4 Storm I thought was a great gun. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It was not one that was destined to be part of the collection full time by any stretch, but I was pleasantly surprised at how good of a shooter it was. that rotating barrel. The ergonomics are good enough. I mean, it's not a bad gun. And that FDE, I told you before, I think that's a sharp one.
Yeah, I mean, they did a nice job. I mean, there's some weird little things about this gun, and then when I do the video, I'm going to bring that up. But you know, I found some things that I like about it, some things that I'm a little confused about with Beretta as a whole in regards to this gun. But you know, that'll be saved for the video. Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep you all in suspense.
And I shot KS's, you know, I'd never really shot one before. I'd played with them, but never shot it. And I shot his, and I liked it. Other than yours was the compact, right, KS?
That's a compact.
Yeah. And it was tiny. I mean, for men, you know, just to hang on to, but it shot very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I think it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I maintain, and I've had a couple people challenge me on this, but the video title was something like, was it worth the hype? And I've had a couple people say, what hype? It's a crappy gun and everything. I don't believe that to be true. And I think it has an extremely dedicated following because I still get comments on that video and people love them and they love their Langdon version. I mean, people talk about that one all the time. And so, again, I can see why people dig it, man. It's a good gun.
It has that damn high bore axis.
But it really doesn't, because
it really doesn't. You're right. Yeah, it really is such a weird gun that way.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it really is weird. And you know, I do like the fact that a lot of the stuff you want to do to it is very easy to do. You know, like I've already converted it from an F to a G. That took about 20 minutes, and I like it better because it's only in decock now. You can't put a safety on there. So I mean, there's definitely some things about it that I think are actually really good. But again, there is some confusion about what the hell Beretta was doing with this gun and why they just kind of, you know, it went poof. It just kind of vanished. You know, there wasn't a lot of drive behind it. And I'm disappointed in Beretta for that, because this gun should have been, in my opinion, one of the guns that people talk more about. But I don't know. I think I have a tendency to get some of the more odd handguns that I actually like better than some of the more common ones, which is interesting.
So Dave Gass is asking a question: if each of us could have only one gun. This is sort of the, and Pops was saying, the epic question. Is we've had this question a couple of times, but it's always fascinating to get that perspective, because right now, and Big Johnson was saying, we're living in a great time right now, and so many choices, and you know, 33 flavors or 31 flavors, all of 31. That 31. Yeah. So what do you guys think if you could only have one gun?
Could we change it a little bit? Could we do one striker fired gun and one hammer fired gun?
You may not. You may have one gun.
Man,
you're in New York. You're lucky you
all these rules.
I like 17s better.
Nope, can't. One gun.
All right, so let's do Dave's question, and then we'll do that one. How's that?
Okay. All right.
All right. So go, one gun. Pick now.
Pistol Pete already guessed it.
What was it? P09?
Yeah, he said Big J, P09, KS, G19 or 17, and then P01 Omega.
Pete pays very close attention.
We get,
yeah, and he's been on this chat for a long time. Pete,
well, like Pop said, Pops, when Dave asked that, Pop said, "Oh, that's a question." But go ahead. Which, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. Which y'all's answers?
You know, Pete got it right for me, Glock 19, and my reasoning is it's a little bit of a do-all gun. It can do a little bit of everything. It's not perfect at any one thing, but it's good enough at each thing that I think it's a great all-arounder. But that could be substituted with an M&P 2.0C. It could be substituted with a Steyr M9A1. It's substituted with any of those sort of compact, concealable enough, yet still big enough to be an all-day shooter sort of thing. That I think is really a good Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. What about you? What about you, 17?
You know, for me, it's going to be the best CZ that has ever been made, and that's the P01. I mean, I just, as much as I love a Steyr and all the other guns, the P01, that was the first gun I ever bought years ago. I got two of them now. Those are going to be in the collection forever till I die. I just think they got it so right with that handgun in so many different ways. So the P01 for me.
And mine, you know, for daily carry, if it's the only thing I can have, it would be the P09, you know, Urban Gray Edition. But, you know, I would love to throw the Shadow 2 in there too. But if I can only pick one, then it would be the P09.
Yep. And
yes, the Hellcat is awesome. I would love to have those. Hellcats are nice.
No, my P01 is an alloyed frame. Correct. All right. Or do we have to start this again?
No, we know that. We knew that. You didn't know that.
I did know that. Again, Jesus. So I don't know, like what else you guys want to really finish? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. Jeez.
Yeah, it is. We are coming up on the top of the hour here. So so in a very short amount of time, because we've done our outro enough now, I think just a quick, what's going on with everybody right now?
Go ahead, Big J.
I've got the yeah, you know, thanks to everyone. I've got the STI 45 video that I'm going to be released, and there are some likes and some dislikes. So definitely tune into that. And that's kind of what I have coming up, and some other stuff, but that's the main thing.
Okay. I've got Holster Month coming up this month. I've got a couple of ones that I showed already, and then some more that are on the way, which is going to be kind of cool because some of them are from new companies that I've never owned anything from. I'm still trying to hit up Harry for an outside the waistband to join his inside the waistband, because I'd like to try to get more outside the waistband in this this month's holster review, just to give people more options out there. I've got the PX4 Storm that I'm going to do a review on. Once I get the optic back from Shield, I'll be doing the PPS in all of its glory. Actually going to be doing a debate video for everybody out there to watch, and it's something about trigger reset. I'm just going to leave it at that, and then I'll post that video, and it's really just to hear what everybody has to say and go from there. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I have in the works at this point.
Nice, nice. Pile of stuff going on right now. The second video for the AR should be coming out very soon. That's done. Just have to pick the right time. The Glock 48 is coming out. Some more polymer 80 type stuff. Working on a 34. Very excited about that as well. So all sorts of things. But as always, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Wednesday night. We appreciate your time, your good comments, your great thoughts. We learn more from you than you could ever learn from us. I assure you of that. So we really appreciate it very much. Be safe, stay warm out there, and we will definitely see you next week.
Adios.
Bye, guys.